Now let's give, so that was in the netilat yadayim in the morning. We have netilat yadayim of the kohanim. It's enough, just one and one. It's not necessary three or three, but por favor, please remember we have to cover the hands, not to make like the kohanim until here, like a little bit. Or even in Yom Kippur, is the only netilah of the kohanim that it's allowed to make the entire hand. So that is so important. And all the hands. And 1 second. Let's talk to. And then and then we have the netilat yadayim before bread. Netilat yadayim before bread is minimum 1 and 1. If you want better, 3 and 3. But again, the entire hand. And there is another netilat yadayim, is the less known, the less practiced, even for many religious people do not practice it. Before we are eating a wet food in our hands, for an example, you wash grapes, you washed cucumber, whatever, and it's wet, you didn't dry it, you make netilat yadayim before. This is, you don't see it, is not something that you see every day, all the time. And this is the netilat yadayim that we are doing after the Kiddush. Usually in Shabbat, before to eat bread, we eat we are washing our hands, netilat yadayim, and we say beracha al netilat yadayim, and then hamutzi. Now we go to netilat yadayim, and we don't make hamutzi. We eat karpas. What is the karpas? Celery. We dip it in the vinegar or water with salty water. Why we dip it in salty water? We dip it in the salty water and the vinegar just to make it wet, to create the necessity to make netilat yadayim. We explain that when you eat a fruit, a vegetable, it's wet, we have to make previously netilat yadayim without beracha, without blessing. So we make this process the super religious practice in the world. The super religious practice in the world, and we make it now in Pesach. Why?
So if you're eating, let's say, a celery, but you just washed it, you don't say the blessing for the celery, you only say aleph.
No. You wash the hand, you don't say anetilat yadayim, you eat the celery, you make the blessing of the celery. The bore peri adama you make. But you make netilat yadayim without beracha netilat yadayim. And what is the reason we are making this in Pesach? Why? Because what come after that? What come after we say Kadesh, Urchatz, Karpas, the celery? Before Yachatz, what happened? What happened before Yachatz? After Urchatz? After Netilah, what happened? No. Almost. What we are doing? No. What we are doing? Man ishtana halayla. Right? It's called the man ishtana. Why it's so important? Why? Because all of this is come, remember, if not you, your parents, if not your parents, your grandparents, if not your grandparents, your great-grandparents for sure were religious. And that's where the habit to make netilat yadayim for hamotzi. And now the children see why we made netilat yadayim and didn't make hamotzi. For what is this? What does it mean manishtana? Manishtana, it's what is the difference. What is the differentiation between this night and the other nights? And this is the reason that we are making the karpas, and we dip the karpas in the dat. Yeah?
That's why I keep it on my left side.
Then we have yachatz. What happened in yachatz? What happened in yachatz? In yachatz, we are breaking the matzah two parts. One is big part and one the small part. One the big part, where is going? Afikoman. Kol hakavod. The small part, where is going? We go with the regular. We have two stages of eating. We are eating sometime because it's necessary to eat. We have to feed our body. We have to feed our body. And after we are feeding, but by feeding our body, we have the intention also to elevate the food to spiritual level. How we make it? By saying the beracha. When person passed away, we make the berachot. If and I say it many times, if people not make the beracha on the food when you bring leilu nishmat, better not to break the food. For what? But don't waste time. When we are serving the breakfast in the morning in memorial, is not just you are giving a good time to the people that they came to pray and you give them breakfast. This is all purpose in every beracha, in every blessing that we are doing. We are elevating the soul of our beloved one. And if you miss this, for what? So we missed all the purpose. And how long? Listen, people give you the minimum thing, you say thank you. You're welcome. Why you cannot be nice and you cannot be grateful to God? I don't speak that even they give you the food to buy the food. They give you the money to buy the food. Give you the teeth so you can swallow. Give you the head that you can digest. To say the minimum. How long it takes? שהכל נהיה בדברו, בורא פרי העץ. These are the minimum things that you develop conscience that you have God. If not, what is the difference between us and all those people who say they have no God? This is when you say we have emunah, we have the faith, we have also to apply that in the minimum way. Don't be religious, but there are minimum of things that they are to be cordial, into cordial to our Creator. You agree? Thank you very much. So the small part, it's for the food that we are going to eat now during the food, and the other part, and I go to explain later on, it's called for the afikoman, and we go to explain what is the afikoman. Now, we take the small part of the matzah and we say ha lachma anya. This is the bread of the poverty that our ancestors used to eat in Egypt. And it's come for very, very obvious question. Why do we eat matzah? The matzah is because when they left Egypt, they didn't have time to make, and they made matzah. So if so, why we say this is the bread that they used to eat in Egypt when they were poor? And the answer is both. The matzah is also was the food that they used to eat in those times. Why? When people they came from their work, very, very, how do you say that? Exhausted. Thank you very much. They didn't have time now to make bread and to stay until the dough go up and to go the process. They take flour, water, and finish. And that's why we are showing to everyone the kind of the matzah, the kind of the bread that our ancestors used to eat even they were in Egypt. And we come now in front of all our family, and we are showing that it's called, that's matzah, there is a name. It's called lechem oni. What is lechem oni, Ariela? Bread of the poor. Poor bread. Lechem oni. But also, the Talmud explain what it's called lechem oni. Lechem, bread, she'onim alav dvarim harbe. That is bread that there are lots of talk on this bread, because this is the initiation of the Haggadah. But before we start and go to the Haggadah, how the Haggadah is starting? Avadim ayinu leparo b'Mitzrayim. That's the Haggadah. Start in this word. We were slave to Pharaoh in Egypt. The Maimonides says one of the duties of every Jew in Pesach is to have needy people around his table. And we say that. Kol dichfin yete veyechol. We say that in the beginning. Everyone has needs, come to it. Now, if you cannot bring, you don't have someone, you don't do it. So what do we give? We give money to people that they have to buy. They have enough money not just to buy the minimum. They have ability to make Pesach like your Pesach. And the Maimonides says that the person that they have is beautiful table, and you have all the food and all the things and everything is great, but it didn't take care about the orphans and the widows and the poor people. All what it does is not for God. It's just for his stomach. It's not for God. If you do it something really you want to do for Judaism, you have to take care about those people that they needs the support. And this year, more than ever, how many families in Israel, no father, no mother, no who take care about them. And this is the first and the most important, to take care about them for the Seder Pesach, that they can be with happiness. Is not just food, it's also clothing. You buy new clothes to your children, take care of other, can give clothing, new shoes, whatever, to make them happy. Because we said, V'samachta b'chagecha, we will be happy in your festival. So this is very important to remember.